Monday morning on this President's Day. My name is Steve Shetler, hanging out here on Steve Shetler Media. We are doing the morning wake-up, and it's brought to us by our friends at Home Plate Sports Cards, Mr. Eddie Pearson. And we thank Sports Cards at the Penn Central Mall in Oskaloosa. They are open Wednesday through Friday, 5:30 to 8:30 p.m., Saturdays noon to 6, Sundays noon to 4. There is no place like Home Plate Sports Cards in Oskaloosa. Home Plate Sports Cards bringing us our morning wake-up here on Steve Shetler Media. Hey, we also thank the Garden Gate in Sigourney for bringing us our forecast. And for today, on this President's Day, what do you call it? President's Day or Washington's birthday? Originally, it was Washington's birthday. I guess that's the way the National Weather Service has it listed. And for today, we will have a nice day. Sunshine, a high around 52. East winds could gust up to about 20 miles per hour. Otherwise, a pretty nice day. 52 degrees. Clear skies tonight, a low of 27. Sunshine for tomorrow, a high of 53. We'll have clear skies tomorrow night, low of 35. And Wednesday, partly sunny and 58 degrees. Right now, looking at our current conditions, we have humidity at just 77%, winds at about 5 to 10 miles per hour out of the east, and the barometric pressure at 30.05. A cool start to our day right now, 24 degrees here in southeast Iowa. And again, looking for a high of 52 a little bit later on today. Are you sleeping in today? Do you have today off because it's President's Day? Hopefully you do. Let's see here. Let's go to our question of the day. Now, the question of the day always posted right around noon here on Steve Shetler Media Facebook. And it's brought to us by Amy's Salon House and Spa in Sigourney. They continue to celebrate their 18th anniversary all month long. With 18% off all products through the end of this month. And also tanning package specials going on there. And their open house coming up on Thursday, February 29th. Call or text for an appointment at 641-622-3772. It's Amy's Salon House and Spa, 202 North Main. Bringing us our question of the day. Again, we'll post this right around noon. And the question is, what would be the first thing you do if you won the lottery? That's just our random question of the day. What would be the first thing you do if you won the lottery? So look for that question. That'll be posted later on today on Steve Shetler Media Facebook. All right. Last night, on Sunday evenings, we always put out the top 20 for the most engaged followers here on Steve Shetler Media. And that means the person who likes, comments, and shares the most on my Facebook page throughout the week. And according to those numbers, Mr. Bruce Hahn, the guy with the cowboy hat and sunglasses on there in the picture, Bruce Hahn is our number one most engaged fan. Now, he breaks the streak of Mr. Alan Sellers. Now, Alan had been number one for 3 weeks in a row. Alan drops to the number 4 spot. You can see your top 20 there on the side. So number 1 is Bruce. We got Kathy Rosaboom at number 2. My wife, Stacy, she's number 3. Alan is at number 4. You got Sherry, David, Rick, VJ, Lacey, and Dan rounding out the top 10. And then 11 through 20 with Nancy, Dave, Aaron, Curtis, Nicholas, Dodie, Justin, Billy, Melissa, and Christine. One name that I don't see on there. I don't know how this really works. I'm just depending on Facebook to come up with these numbers for me. But I don't know how Tracy Waterhouse didn't get in my top 20 because she was very active on my Facebook page. So I don't know how this stuff computes. But those are the numbers. Those are the names that Facebook has given me for this week. So your number one fan this week is Mr. Bruce Hahn, co-host of the Sports Section Coaches Show. All right, coming up later on this morning, once I get done with the morning wake-up here on Steve Shetler Media, brought to us by Home Plate Sports Cards, I'll be working on my Athlete of the Week poll. In fact, that's what I was doing right before I went on air this morning, I was coming up with my list for the athlete of the week. Lots of great athletes on the list this week. Got some bowling, some wrestlers, basketball players. Those will be the sports that dominate this week. So look for that poll to go up a little bit later on this morning for the Keokuk County Hospital and Clinic's Athlete of the Week poll. Lots of great suggestions. Also on kind of late Sunday afternoon, I usually put out that post asking for nominees for our Athlete of the Week. And lots of great nominations, lots of great comments yesterday. Let's see here. Good morning to you, Kurt and Kathy. Good morning to you, Marcia. Good morning, Cindy and Tracy. Tracy, I think, is agreeing with me in the comments that she should have been in my top 20 followers for this week. I don't know. I don't get it, Tracy. You're my personal top 20, if that makes any difference to you. All right, coming up on Friday, we'll have our Iowa Music Showcase live at Barnwired in Sigourney. That's every Friday from 11:30 to noon. And there you see the guy that'll be coming to Barnwired in Sigourney this Friday. His name is J. Christian Connett, I believe is how you say his name. It's the letter J. J. Christian Connett. And I believe he's going to have a full band with him on Friday. So we're going to have to make some extra room at Barnwired and have a lot of fun as these guys are going to be coming in and playing some tunes on Friday, 11:30 to noon. J. Christian Connett on our Iowa Music Showcase this Friday at Barnwired. Come in person, check it out live, watch the interview and the music live and in person at Barnwired, or, of course, watch it here on Facebook or YouTube or Twitter with Steve Shetler Media. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Another new artist. I've never met this guy. I've only talked to him through Facebook. So looking forward to our Iowa Music Showcase coming up on Friday. Of course, we'll have our sports section, Coach's Show, Saturday morning, 8 a.m. at Brothers Market in Sigourney. I believe we've got Rihanna Utterback, our state girls champion from Sigourney, going to be in the house on Saturday morning. So tune in then. Other stuff coming up this week. Keota Eagle basketball. Yes, we will have the boys coming up tomorrow night as we travel, I believe, to Vinton. Benton Community High School is the site for the next Keota boys basketball game in the postseason. The boys have taken care of business so far in the first two games of the postseason play, and they'll be taking on Gladbrook Rhinebeck coming up on Tuesday evening, tomorrow night at 7 p.m. So tune in tomorrow night, Keota boys on the road at Benton Community to take on Gladbrook Rhinebeck in boys basketball. We'll see if the boys can continue on. Now, if they were to win tomorrow night, they'd play on Saturday evening in Waterloo. We'll be there for that game, too. So tune in, Keota boys basketball. We're going to follow the Keota boys as far as they go here on Steve Shetler Media. So tune in tomorrow night for the next boys basketball game from Keota. Also want to mention one thing. There's my lovely wife, Stacy, modeling the Steve Shetler Media t-shirt. You can now officially get those shirts whenever you want at Barnwired in Sigourney. Barnwired is very kind to me. They take great care of me at Barnwired, and now they are the official outlet for the Steve Shetler Media t-shirt. They're $20, and if you want one, you can just stop into Barnwired in Sigourney and get one whenever you want, whenever they're open. So just stop in. The Steve Shetler Media t-shirts available at Barnwired. Hey, we're doing the morning wake-up here on Steve Shetler Media. It's brought to us by Home Plate Sports Cards. As we started last week, I do want to shed some light on some different area events on our, we'll just call it the community calendar. And I know Eddie at Home Plate Sports Cards is excited for this coming weekend, as there'll be the Collector Fair Expo, I guess it's the Oskaloosa Sports Card Expo, with some stuff going on there at the Penn Central Mall. That's this Saturday from 10 to 5. 40-plus tables and dealers from the Midwest. If you like sports cards, This is the place to be coming up on Saturday at the Penn Central Mall, so check that out. Another thing you might want to look into this week, coming up on Thursday, the Mahaska County Conservation Environmental Learning Center will be hosting a virtual event called the Lives of Gray Wolves. It's a virtual event with the International Wolf Center from 6 to 7 p.m., all ages are welcome for that, so get a hold of the Mahaska County Conservation Environmental Learning Center. That's coming up on Thursday from 6 to 7. So look into that. And then also want to shed some light, Be the Light Ministry, one of my sponsors here on Steve Shetler Media. They have a women's event coming up this weekend, Friday evening and all day Saturday, called IF. And it's a women's event, a women's ministry that they're going to be bringing in live via satellite. So if you want to take part in that women's ministry at Be the Light in Sigourney, that's going on there on Friday, 5:30 to 10, and Saturday, 9 to 4:30. So the IF local event at Be the Light Ministry coming up this weekend. Again, at Be the Light. Hey, we are doing the morning wake up here on Steve Shetler Media, brought to us by Home Plate Sports Cards. Boy, it's 7:13. We're just moving right along. Good morning to you, Dan. I know, Dan, you were excited to be in my top 20 this week, so congratulations on that. Melissa, yeah, it is. Beautiful sunrise, beautiful start to our day. Doug, thank you. Thanks for tuning. Need some hats? I agree. I need a hat to keep my bald head warm. Let's see here. And Eloise, coming to us from Oklahoma. Eloise is always on the move. She is always on the go, coming to us from Oklahoma City. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Amber, good morning to you. Always good to see you. Let's go ahead and do some birthdays. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. All right, birthdays for today. Let's see here. The old person on our list for today, the oldest celebrity is former astronaut Joseph P. Kerwin. He is 92 years old, so happy birthday to Joseph. We've got the singer Smokey Robinson turning 84 today. My daughter was back this weekend, Riley. Riley and I and my wife, Stacy, we watched on Netflix the documentary about We Are the World on Saturday evening. Have you seen that on Netflix, that documentary? I don't know what it's called officially, but it's about We Are the World. We are the world. We are the children. Smokey Robinson, part of that documentary. And the only thing that I could say about Smokey Robinson from watching that documentary was, Smokey, it's time to give up on the hair dye. It's okay to have gray and white hair or no hair. Smokey's got beautiful eyes. Are those the real eye color, or is he doing contacts for that? Regardless, Smokey Robinson. Let it go gray, Smokey. Let it go gray. Good morning to you, Tammy. But do watch, if you grew up in the 80s, born in the 70s or 80s, you got to watch that documentary on Netflix about We Are the World. It is good stuff. Good stuff. Other birthdays for today. Tony Iommi from Black Sabbath, the guitarist, turning 76 years old today. Actor Jeff Daniels, you know him from such classics as Dumb and Dumber and 101 Dalmatians. He's a really good actor. Jeff Daniels, 69 years old. We've got former baseball player Dave Stewart of the Oakland A's, turning 67. Singer Seal. That guy is a great singer. Seal is 61. We've got Justine Bateman, the actress from Family Ties, turning 58. Actor Benicio del Toro. Another great actor. 57 years old for Benicio del Toro. And then actress Millie Bobby Brown from Stranger Things is 20 years old. So happy birthday to Millie. Good morning to you, Sherry. Thank you for tuning in. Always appreciate you. Let's see here. On this date in history, on February 19th in history, it was 1807. Former Vice President Aaron Burr was arrested in Alabama for treason, later acquitted, thanks to the efforts of his attorney Jedediah. Do you like the musical Hamilton? Aaron Burr. They're talking about Aaron Burr and Hamilton. 1807 for him being arrested for treason. On this date, 1881, Kansas became the first state to prohibit all alcoholic beverages. So that was an interesting thing. They were the first to do that. Kansas, 1881. It's on this date, 1969, the Boeing 740 Jumbo jet is test flown for the first time. Let's look at our National Day calendar. It is, of course, a President's Day, George Washington's birthday, whatever you want to call it. That is going on today. Let's see here. Today is also National Chocolate Mint Day. I love this one. I've been looking forward to this day all year long. It's National Arabian Horse Day. National Arabian Horse Day. It's National Vet Girls Rise Day. What does that mean? National Vet Girls Rise Day. That's a lot of words. And it's also National Lash Day. I'm assuming they're meaning eyelashes. Fake eyelashes that go out to here. Good morning to you, Dell. Hope you have a good day. Doug, I wish there was a better way that I could promote actual songs. Being on the radio made it a lot easier. But I'm doing my best. We're going to have the Chickadees are coming up on my Iowa Music Showcase in March. So thank you, Doug, for reminding me on that. And Dixie, good morning to you. So let's see here. We've got all those national days. Let's go to things you need to know. Did you know? And if you didn't, you're going to know now. Vladimir Putin. Vladimir Putin's top critic, Alexei Navalny, has reportedly died in a Siberian prison, as Kremlin foes claim that he was murdered. Of course he was. He was 47. If you're Putin's top critic in Russia, you're going to die, especially if you were in prison. So that's what happened to that guy. Other things you need to know. 4 out of 5 Americans are being exposed to a little-known chemical found in popular oat-based foods, including cereals. Lots of cereals. It's linked to reduced fertility, altered fetal growth, and delayed puberty. So, as I've said before, I've kind of preached to you guys about whatever you eat it's going to have chemicals and stuff in it. You can't get away from it. Everything's, You can eat natural unless you are, doing your own garden out of some dirt that hasn't been touched by chemicals. There's chemicals in everything. It just depends on what kind of chemicals. Let's see here. Other things you need to know. Disgraced former Congressman George Santos suing TV host Jimmy Kimmel for allegedly misusing his cameo clips on his show. Let's see. Japan's economy has hit a recession. They've actually dropped from the world's 3rd largest economy to the number 4 slot. So Japan moving down. Good morning to you, Bubby, Jan, and Renee. Thank you guys for hanging out this morning. Seems that there's some serious bad blood between the Cyruses, Miley and Billy Ray, as he says he has reached out to her many times to congratulate her on her first Grammy win, but evidently she's not taking his calls. So Miley and Billy Ray having a family feud. Sports broadcaster Vern Lundquist. Great voice. Great announcer. Vern says that he is going to be fully retiring from commentary at the Masters after his 40th time doing it this April. So Vern Lundquist legendary broadcaster, going to be retiring from commentary after the Masters. In some food news, Taco Bell's newest dish going nationwide is the cheesy chicken crispinata. Look for that from Taco Bell. Kansas City, we haven't had any Taylor Swift news. Kansas City Taylor has donated $100,000. You probably have heard about that, to the family of the on-air host and the mom who were killed at the Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl parade. Horrible things there with that parade in Kansas City. Taylor, and I think boyfriend Travis Kelce also donating money to the victims of that as well. Beach Boys. Beach Boys 81-year-old co-founder Brian Wilson, suffering from dementia. He's been placed under conservatorship, I should say, after his health deteriorated following the death of his mom last month. So some sad news for Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys. How about Paul McCartney? He has his beloved bass guitar back. It's the one that he played on such big hits as Love Me Do, Twist and Shout, and All My Loving, as he had that guitar stolen way back when, and now he has got that back. So good for Paul. Hey, there's a new sandwich heading to the Costco food court. I go with my wife to Costco occasionally. Never once have I really thought, while passing by their food court, that I need to get something to eat there. But maybe I do. They've got a turkey and Swiss sandwich at the Costco food court now for $6.99. So, is the Costco food any good at the food court? Anybody know? Anybody eat there? In Illinois, a 41-year-old man facing felony charges after he allegedly showed up drunk to a mandatory DUI impact panel. Oh, and then he topped it off by attacking the sheriff's deputy. So, way to go there, pal. And then also, your last thing that you need to know, so far the average tax refund is smaller this year than last. Surprise! Surprise! Let's do today's impossible. It's impossible question. Well, before we go any further, ladies and gentlemen, my number one fan, Bruce Hahn, is in the comments. Hello, Bruce. Welcome. Number one, pal. Way to go. I knew you could do it. Your stick-to-itiveness has defeated Alan Sellers. So Bruce Hahn, number one follower, most engaged fan in the comments. Hello, Bruce. Today's impossible question. The average person can recite 7 of these. What do you think that is? The average person can recite 7 of these. What is it? What are the these that we are talking about? The average person can recite 7 recipes. I cannot. I don't even know one recipe. I don't cook at all. My wife does the cooking. She's a fabulous cook. I don't do any cooking. Thus, I don't know any recipes other than how to do cereal in the morning. I put the Frosted Flakes in. I put some milk on top. I eat it. That's my, all right, so if that's a recipe, I do know that one. So people know 7 recipes, or can recite 7 recipes. Good morning to you, Rose. Thanks for joining us this morning. Let's see here. Evidently, coming up on Thursday is National Walk Your Dog Day. I celebrate that numerous times every single day of my life. A National Walk Your Dog Day coming up on Thursday. And there's a survey that has been done to rank the best cities to walk your dog. And evidently, the number 1 city to walk your dog is Colorado Springs, Colorado. So take your dog for a walk in Colorado Springs. Also, number 2 is San Francisco. Got Phoenix at number 3. Boulder, Colorado at number 4. And I find this hard to believe, but New York City is number 5. The number 5 place to walk your dog. Really? They look at it as if you have access to dog-friendly trails, off-leash parks, and dog walking services, safety among many metrics that they look at. But New York City is number 5 on the best place to walk your dog. I don't think my dogs would do well in New York City. Worst cities to walk your dog. Actually, Davenport, Iowa is on that list. Davenport, Iowa is at number 9 on the worst cities to walk your dog. I don't know why that would be, but number 1 on the worst cities is Pompano Beach, Florida. So, yeah, if you're in Iowa, avoid walking your dog in Davenport. What is this? Are we doing weird stuff? Let's do something weird.
That is weird.
This is weird. Let's go to Slovakia. Bratislava, Slovakia. Pioneering a new way to recycle cigarette butts. Just the thought of cigarette butts is kind of gross to me. The capital city's municipal waste management company announced a new push to collect and reuse discarded cigarettes this year. They're placing specially designed containers for discarded cigarettes at public events and will use the cigarette butts to create asphalt for roads. So they're doing a good thing with those butts. AI. Let's talk about some artificial intelligence in the weird news. OpenAI has unveiled Sora. It's spelled S-O-R-A if you want to look it up. Sora. It's a text-to-video model that can generate realistic videos in seconds. Sora is capable of creating videos up to 60 seconds long with detailed scenes, complex camera movements, and emotionally expressive characters. Compared to rival projects from Meta and Google, Sora appears to be more advanced, which raises both exciting possibilities and terrifying concerns. So, AI, it's just going to continue, obviously. AI pictures have been so realistic. Now there is AI videos, so artificial intelligence videos that can be created in seconds. So we'll see what that does for us. Other weird stuff, the New York Times is out with a story suggesting that medical journals provide nowhere near the kind of scrutiny necessary for papers on cancer research. The newspaper reports that a top cancer surgeon at Columbia University is under scrutiny after 26 of his published studies were flagged for suspicious data. This is Dr. Sam Yoon, who is under suspicion for maybe some false information, including images of cancer cells, mice, and tumors. It's not the tumor. Raccoons in Florida. That's our next headline. A Florida woman took out her phone, started recording when a trio of masked bandits stole her DoorDash taco order from her front door. Her name is Caterina Severes. You like how I threw in that little Severes? Caterina Severes said she opened the front door of her West Palm Beach apartment in Florida to retrieve her DoorDash order from a taco place, but she instead came face to face with 3 raccoons who were enjoying her late night meal. Severes took out her phone and recorded video of the scene, which she of course put on TikTok. Instead of saving her food, she took a video. She says, once they started hissing, I shut the door so fast, I was like, they can have the carne asada. It's fine. She said she looked out after the raccoons had left and discovered they had eaten everything except for the tortillas. So evidently the raccoons were not fans of the tortillas. So she got a little something to eat afterwards. Let's go from raccoons to Fox. Good morning to you, Penny. Monica, thank you for hanging out this morning. Let's see here. An officer in Britain set up his phone to film an animal rescue, but a curious fox instead snatched the device and ran away with it. Wow, it was still recording. The animal rescue officer, Ben Fitzcostas, said he responded to a wooded area on a report of a fox with an injured leg. Now, he located what he believed to be the injured fox and set up the phone to record some video. He says there were actually 2 foxes in the woodlands. Someone had called to report that one of them was injured. Set up my phone, and I was preparing to catch the fox with food. And the fox ran up, sniffed the phone, and ran off with it. Before it was all said and done, the fox had taken some footage and also a selfie of itself. Look for the fox from Britain with some footage online. How about Beyonce's dip into country music? Have you heard this quote-unquote country music from Beyonce? For some reason, I don't think that, here in Iowa, I don't think that Tyler Richton and the High Bank Boys will be playing the new Beyonce country songs anytime soon, or Royce Johns or Jason Brown. So there's a radio station that wasn't playing the song. They say the quote was, "We do not play Beyonce on KYLC as we are a country station." Makes sense. That was the explanation on why the new song Texas Hold'em was not airing on that Oklahoma radio station. But that did not go over well with a fan who had requested it and posted about it on X. Now, Beyonce fans raised the roof on social media. Of course they did. The manager of these small radio stations said he didn't realize Beyonce had released a couple of country songs and then changed his mind. He says her fans had swamped the station with hundreds of emails and phone calls asking that it play Texas Hold'em and 16 carriages, per the New York Times, with some fans posting that the initial decision was racist. Of course. You always got to play the race card. Let's see here. The singer had announced the song's release in a Super Bowl commercial on Sunday. The songs are on the station's playlist now, not because they want it to be, but because, they're being forced to play it. And if Beyonce wants to make country music, Harris said, we're all for it. Variety points out that her crossover echoes the one Ray Charles made back in 1962. So, yeah. You should listen to that song and let me know if you think it's country. Not if it's good, not if you like it, but if it's actually country music. Let me know your thought. Shalane, you like that song? Is it country music, though? Does it belong on a country music station? That's what I'm asking. Doug, Molly, Jason, Ron, Josh, thank you all for hanging out this morning. Let's see here. Prince Harry. Good morning, Tracy. Prince Harry racing headfirst on a tiny skeleton sled, going 61.5 miles per hour down a track at next year's Invictus Games site on Thursday, saying afterwards that everyone should do it. Get on this skeleton sled, going about 62 miles an hour. Now, Harry was in Whistler, British Columbia. His wife, Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, visiting athletes at training camps and also to promote the games that he founded for wounded, injured, or sick service personnel and veterans after he served in Afghanistan. The British prince did 2 runs on the world's fastest bobsled tracks, which also hosts skeleton races. Now, the games next year, 2025 games, will have about 500 competitors from 23 nations in February of 2025. So, Prince Harry saying, do it now. Yeah, I agree, Melissa. Some of today's country songs aren't country at all. Good morning to you, Kurt, as well. Let's see here. Smartphones. Are you addicted to your smartphone? I admit that I am. For the past 6 months, my job is basically on my phone on social media. So I'm on my phone way, way, way too much. Surveys being done, 47% of Americans admit they are addicted to their phones. The average person checks their phone about 80 times per day, which is once every 12 minutes. Smartphones have become, of course, more than just phones. their alarm clocks, their cameras, their video they're everything. Everything is in your phone now, so that's why we're addicted to them. The top reasons we are drawn to our phones include entertainment, boredom, distraction, and habit. Let's see here. According to the information here, 67% of males, in comparison to just 13% of females, admit to checking their devices while on a romantic night out on a date. Smartphone owners look at their phones more when they're with friends than during family time. And some people believe they're addicted to their phones. The daily screen time average 3 hours and 19 minutes a day, and that's more than 50 full days a year if you put all that time together. So there you go. Some news on smartphones. How about President's Day? Today is President's Day. Would you like some facts on President's Day? President's Day was not enacted until 100 years after President George Washington's death. Let's see here. It started in 1879 when President Rutherford B. Hayes declared it on February 22nd on 1879. President's Day goes by many names. You know, some people call it George Washington's birthday, President's Day, so whatever you want to call it. Today is that day. We've got information like President's Day is always celebrated on a Monday, so people can have that extended weekend. It's a way to honor the legacy of the nation's first president, President George Washington. Let's see here. As far as being president of the United States, it's of course rewarding. It's also a dangerous position. The threat of harm is always present. On April 4th of 1841, the 9th president of the U.S. caught a cold following his inauguration speech, turned into pneumonia, and then he died just 31 days later. So he didn't, presidents are always going to be always under a threat. Assassination attempts have been made throughout history, some successful, some not. But even getting pneumonia as president has happened. That has killed them. Politics is not only the only talent that you have to have as a president. Many of our country's presidents. Hello, Stella. My dog Stella has just rambunctiously come into the studio. Stella, do you want to make your daily appearance? There's Stella, everybody. All right, bye, Stella. Get out of here. Get out of here, Stella. Other talents that presidents have had. Did you know this? Thomas Jefferson was an architect. True story. Teddy Roosevelt was fond of boxing. Barack Obama won a Grammy for a voice artist. And Bill Clinton, of course, famous for his saxophone talents, while Ronald Reagan was an actor and a comedian. And he was also a radio personality. So lots of talents from our president. Let's go to the files of law and disorder. In disorder, let's go to Norway. Anders Behring Breivik has lost his bid to end his years of isolation in a Norwegian prison. The 45-year-old who killed 77 people back in 2011 in Norway's largest mass killing sued the country's authorities, arguing that the conditions of his imprisonment had made him suicidal and that restrictions on his communications should be lifted. He has lost that bid in court. That guy, he killed 77 people, and he wants better living conditions. The dude should be living in the sewers somewhere for killing 77 people. Let's do some good news. Zaida, it's a neat first name. Zaida Merchant. Maybe it's Zeta. I'm not sure. Zeta or Zaida. Zaida Merchant's first uniform was a Girl Scouts uniform, but now, as a member of the Coast Guard, she is going to become, let's see here, the first black woman to achieve the title of Admiral in the Coast Guard, coming up in April. So congratulations, Zaida Merchant. Her first name is spelled Z-E-I-T-A. Zaida Merchant, the first black woman to achieve this title in the Coast Guard's 233-year history. So congratulations to her. That's some good news. And then let's go to some duh.
Duh.
In some duh, Visitors to a Mesa park, must be in Mesa, Arizona, are calling 911 to report an alligator lurking in the water. Dun, 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 dun. But there's no cause for alarm, according to Arizona city officials. The alligator isn't real. They say on a Facebook post that if you look at it long enough, it doesn't move. They're made out of foam, so they float. Park officials recently installed the fake alligator to provide more places for birds and turtles to sun themselves. So no need to call the police in Mesa, Arizona. It's a fake. It's a fake. And then we'll end today with the top box office results for this past week at the box office, the movies. Again, nobody's going to the movies. Nobody's going to the theater anymore. The new Bob Marley One Love movie, which critics have not been nice to, that brought in $27.7 million over the weekend. That was your number one movie. Behind that, the new comic book movie, Madam Web, kind of a Spider-Man offshoot, bringing in $15.1 million. That is it me, or have the superhero movies just... Superhero movies are dead in the water. Madam Web just bringing in $15 million at the box office this past week. The movie Argyle at number 3, bringing in under $5 million. Migration, Chosen, Wonka, Beekeeper. Nothing's doing anything at the theaters. Nobody's going to the movies anymore. So we'll see what happens this spring when some big movies come out. If things don't rebound then, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see who hits the panic button at the movie industry out in Hollywood. All right. That does it for our morning wake up here on Steve Shetler Media. Coming up a little bit later on today, we will have, let's see here. We'll have our In Remembrance Of video coming up this morning at 8. We'll have our question of the day going up on Facebook at noon. We'll have an encouraging word with Kevin Hempel at 5 o'clock this evening. That'll be followed by Successful Farming daily at 5:30. Real Talk with Pastor Aaron Fleming and myself coming up this evening at 6:30. And then pro wrestling fans can tune in at 7 p.m. tonight for Card Subject to Change. So a full day of videos and content on Steve Shetler Media, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. And otherwise, enjoy your President's Day today. Going to be a beautiful day. Forecast looks good as sunshine today and a high of 52. All right, you guys have a great Monday, and we'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. for the next morning wake up here on Steve Shetler Media.